Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, we got to start out talking NSYNC. You really set the internet on fire with this announcement of the song Better Place. Like, how did that come together? And yeah, tell us the story.
Well, first, you're welcome. It really came together. Justin texted you, right? I mean, we were working on the film for a couple of years-ish, maybe midway point, year and a half or something. Yeah. And it was having this whole kind of digging into some of Justin's past, having him kind of reminisce. We started putting some of the songs in there, and then he texted you.
Yeah, I was out walking my dog, and he texted me and said, I think I found the song. How about if we bring back NSYNC for it? And I just screamed. I was like, yeah, and then I called him and I screamed again in his ear, so, yeah.
Anna, do you want to maybe set up a bit about the story here, having been with this franchise since the beginning, and what excited you about the threequel?
I mean, I'll be honest, this is the best job I've ever had. It's my favorite job I've ever had. Y'all, you didn't watch it because you guys have watched it a million times, but they play the clip and I'm like, I love the finished products so much, but I love the process so much. Not to be corny, but Poppy is this incredibly free and wild and messy part of me that I get to once every 4 months or something, I get a call to come in and sing something or, just do lines or whatever. And it's the best day of my month, So honestly, every time they have this big pitch put together about here's what we're thinking for the next one. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for you to stop talking so I can say that I'm super excited.
Well, let's talk about sort of the expansion of the world after 2 films. First of all, you've got a big expansion of the cast. You got to put together, you got to assemble a boy band around Justin Timberlake, and then you have a couple of villain characters which are really fun. It's Andrew Rannells
and Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer, of course. So yeah, tell me about that, and then the expansion maybe of the visual world and ambition.
Yeah, it's really exciting to get to do another movie, and you go, okay, what makes a sequel great? One is having the characters evolve, and the second one is going places we haven't gone before and making sure the movie has an identity of its own. So a way to definitely do that is expanding the world. And it gets weird, man. It gets bonkers, this place. Just the crew gets excited. How far can we push it? It has a visual identity, but we go, let's go past that, but still be consistent. So that's what all the new characters are. That's what all the new worlds are. Just unlike anything you've seen yet.
Gina, do you want to talk about the process of figuring out the songs and what you're going to do with this next iteration of a jukebox musical?
Yes, in the very beginning, it starts with the script, and Walt and I in editorial work with songs that we think kind of are the tone of the scene and maybe might carry the narrative. So, we have a combination of covers and originals, and then we choose the spots in the movie. We bring in Justin, and we talk to him about what kind of narrative and tone we want the original songs to carry, and then he kind of takes all the covers and those ideas for those original songs, and he builds his music team. And we had Mike Elizondo and Joe Shirley on our music team. We had Shellback, Amy Allen, Michael Pollack, and Emily Warren, all songwriters, come in and just figure out what is the best way to carry this scene. Yeah.
Anna, tell us about your experience with the recording process. It seems like there's got to be nothing more fun than this. We were talking backstage about you get to go back to your sort of drama school or acting class roots. It's vocal performance, but then you're also getting to record these great songs.
Yeah, I think I really didn't realize how lucky I got with this team. We were just thinking it may have been a decade now from the very, very first recording that I did for the first movie, because the movies, are so labor intensive and take so long to put out. And I have other friends who've done animated films, and they're like, yeah, it's cool, you get to show up in your pajamas, but it's kind of a slog. Someone's just behind glass and you do 3 in a row, and then you just see behind glass That was great. Do you want to try 3 more? And, and like, that's just not my experience. Like, Walt for 10 years has been in the room with me and is just so encouraging of like, if we have it, we have it. Or if like there's certain runs in the movie that I was like trying to get down to like record speed, like record poppy speed. And I was like, I need to do one more. And that's all really encouraged too. And the singing stuff is so fun, and I feel so lucky that these movies are continuing to give me an outlet to keep pretending that I'm a singer. And they just keep adding unbelievable amounts of talent. Like, and I just feel like I'm in the center of, like, they're like, and I love the way that y'all always approach me, like, what do you think about for your sister? We're thinking about Camila Cabello? As though I'm gonna be like, I don't know. And instead, I'm just like, I'm so happy to be here. Like, I'm so happy I got grandfathered into this thing.
So this begs the question, Justin's done the boy band. Can we anticipate a girl group in your future?
I don't know, Mom, Dad, do I get a girl group?
We'll see after this weekend.
Yeah, everybody tell your friends to go see the movie.
I want a live action extension. I want you to go on the road and...
just like have pink
yeah,
hair
yeah.
in real life? I love that for me.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start thinking about who else is in the girl group. This is exciting.
Well, let me see. What were some of the biggest challenges, I guess, in putting this film together?
I mean, the whole thing is such a massive undertaking, that takes 3 years. I think one of the things in particular, which this is part of, but it's this Act 3, it's this giant action set piece, which we haven't tried before, but it's also a musical. We're like, how do we build this thing? There wasn't even any reference to have this kind of concert on wheels, kind of James Bond on mushrooms. It's like, how do we, build this thing? And it's so massive. So I think that was a particular challenge.
Yeah, it came together really quickly in the end, and there's 500 people working on the film at the same time, so it's a huge, massive collaboration.
Can't process what it's like to be at the top of that, but what was the licensing process? Is that pretty simple, or?
For music?
Yeah, you were telling me about the sync sort of license versus.
When we license music, it's mostly sync because we want our actors to be singing all the songs, and we want to make sure that the tapestry of the music feels cohesive throughout. And Teddy Shapiro is really amazing in helping us do that with writing the compositions in between. But the licensing process, we rely heavily on our partners over at Universal Film Music, Angela Leas and Mike Knobloch, to help us get all that done. And it's just very smooth. These guys know what they're doing.
Should we shout out your co-director? It's Tim Heights.
Yeah, Tim Heights, he's a co-director. He's from our training of, he was on Trolls 1.
And this was sort of the gauntlet you went through as well, right? It's like a rite of passage. You came through and were a co-director on one of these. And
yeah, I've been at DreamWorks 20 years, born and bred there. We start as a story artist, then I become a head of story, then I become co-director, and then finally director when I'm 100. So it takes a while.
What can you tease about the songs we're going to hear in this one?
Yeah, what do you think?
Can you repeat that?
What can you tease about the range of songs kind of this time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we decided this movie was going to be all pop music for the most part. The last movie we dipped into many genres of music. And for this one, we felt like with the reuniting of a boy band that we should really dig underneath all of that. And that includes, Bee Gees even. Yeah.
And there's, a little bit of yacht rock in there. And the Christopher Cross, the Mozart of yacht rock, is represented.
I was listening to the soundtrack in my car yesterday and turning it down at stoplights so that I didn't get caught. So I'll say that about the soundtrack.
You've already debuted the film in Denmark, is that right? So between that, I don't know if you've been on the road at all with the film yet, but has there been any particularly meaningful feedback or in test screenings as you were getting this together?
Yeah, people right away are saying, it's the best one yet. And they keep saying, how do you
It
top
is.
yourself? You know? Yeah, Anna said it.
Did it again.
Yeah. So it's been really nice to get that level of reception, especially the amount of work and the artistry and craftsmanship that goes into film like this. So it's nice that people are recognizing that.
Yeah, our college screenings are going over pretty well too.
Yeah, it's a trippy movie if you haven't seen it. So the sleep-deprived college students are a big fan.
You can play to multiple audience. You know, this is showing the range of animation. You know, it's not something to reduce to one sort of area, and it's not a genre. It's a medium.
Exactly, and I think we always say it's a movie for everyone or movie for humans. I think a lot of people are surprised at the level of humor and intellect that's balanced out with trolls falling down, because that needs to happen for our younger audience.
I can't imagine like what this franchise means to you all, because you've been with this for like 10 years. Can you talk a bit about that, the family of these productions, and like what this opportunity has meant for you all?
Yeah, I mean, as always, my contribution relative to the hundreds of people that work on it feels very small. But I'll say that when I signed on to the first one, at a certain point, I was like, if I could sort of see any animation stuff to just see what the process is or whatever, and they put together this way more than I thought I needed, this incredible presentation about all the work that goes into it, and this film, I was sitting in the audience going like, every single frame of this is like, I think I don't know, I feel corny again saying like visual feast, but it's just unbelievable. And the artists that work on this are my heroes. And I'm not even like an animation nerd, but it's undeniable the level of craftsmanship that's in this. Like the physics of the water in every different world that we enter operate totally differently. It's those details where you're like, just the world building alone and the execution is just incredible. And I'm so lucky to just be here.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm just excited to be able to be out here and share this, and again, talk about the level of artistry that goes into animation. The amount of effort. And again, I don't know, it's just nice for the movie to be out there and that people recognize that.
Let's give it up for the team behind Trolls Band Together, out in theaters now.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matt.